What's up everyone, this is Danny for DashAuto.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Rexing V1P dash cam. For some first impressions of this dash cam, you're going to notice that it is very big. I've been reviewing dash cams for a while, and I think this might just be the biggest dash cam I've ever reviewed, but it's big in a sense that when you hold it, it feels sturdy. You know, it doesn't really have a cheap feel to it. So it's kind of a positive, and I know a lot of people like small dash cams because they're discreet. You know, you're not gonna get that with this. However, I guess, you know, if someone's walking by your car, they'll clearly see you have a dash cam. So maybe in that sense, they'll leave your car alone. So I guess it's safer in that way. But when you have this dash cam on your car, what I've noticed from just driving around is that you're definitely going to notice just a big black block, like a big black block on your car. And out of all the dash cams that I've used, this one I've definitely noticed the most. Let's first talk about the mic quality. The mic quality in itself is very muffled. It's hard to even catch a conversation, but for me, the mic quality on a dash cam doesn't really matter. So, because for me, I play music all the time in my car. Let me just give you guys some examples of the mic quality, so you guys have just have an example of what you should be expecting. So, if you're wondering about the sound quality of the Rexing V1P Pro, this is what you're gonna get at a conversation level. This is what you will hear. Again, with the build quality, you know, it is plastic, but to me, it just feels very sturdy, you know. I can tell it's probably cheaply made, and they definitely could have cut the size down a little bit, but to me, I had no idea that it was that big, to be honest. Let me just give you an example. Garmin dash cam, and this is me holding a Rexing dash cam. Build quality is basically cheap plastic all around. You know, a camera with these specs shouldn't need such a big body, right? Because when I first got the camera, you know, noticing such a big body, you expect 4K recording on both cameras or something like that, but that's not what you're gonna get. So that segues into the most important part of a dash cam, and that is the video quality. The Rexing is able to shoot in 4K, but not if you're running the 2-channel dash cam. If you're running the rear camera as well, you'll expect to get 1080p on both cameras, which I believe is adequate enough for a dash cam. I mean, how many movies do you even see that are in 4K? It's pretty unnecessary. 1080p for me is perfect, but for the size of the camera, I kind of did expect a little more. The sensor is quite clear, and it does really well in daylight conditions. Keep the WDR setting on, as the footage is quite lacking if you're running without. Nighttime recording is good, clarity is good, but whites and headlights are washed out with WDR on. Nighttime recording is good, clarity is good, but whites and headlights are washed out with WDR on. We wish there was an option to keep WDR on in the day, but off at night. But, you know, if you're really handsy, you could just toggle that yourself. Back onto the topic of build quality, another point that I want to make is that the camera does use a lithium-ion battery, which you probably should be expecting to burn out within a couple years. So when buying a dash cam for the long term, that is definitely something you should be keeping in your mind. One thing that I like about the Rexing dash cam though is that it has because the camera is so big, it comes with a pretty big LCD screen. Well, given that the LCD screen has pretty poor resolution, it doesn't help that much. But it definitely helped me a lot with when I'm setting up the camera, right? It's very easy to tell when you have a good viewing angle, because a lot of the times you'll have with smaller dash cams, it's very hard to tell if you got a clear view of the road because you're on the driver's side. The dash cam is usually on the passenger side. So with this, you know, it gives a pretty good viewing angle for you when you're setting up the dash cam. So I found that to be very helpful. One feature that I really do look for in a dash cam is parking mode. This camera unfortunately doesn't have one. However, I do realize that when you leave your car, the camera will continuously record until the camera dies. So if you choose to not turn your camera off though, the camera will still keep on recording and it'll record continuously until the power dies. This camera comes in at the price of $179.99, which I feel is a great bang for your buck and extremely worth it. However, it's also interesting to note that other cameras that come in at the same price are cameras such as the V1P A129, which does have a true parking mode and has a probably better build quality and design. However, if you're looking for a dash cam that is very unique in its look, if you're looking for a dash cam that has a pretty long battery life when you are leaving your car, with that being said though, it's definitely a great camera if you choose to buy it. Again, this is Danny for DashAuto.com with a quick review of the Rexing V1P.